1 minute to post time, approaching the gate. They enter the post. Now they're moving into the gate. Open range.
Hello, Billy Ho here, and welcome to another preview show for Kentucky Derby 149. Welcome to Billy Ho Sports. First of all, I am born and raised in Louisville, Kentucky. I do live about 5 or 6 miles away from Churchill Downs. I've been there quite a few times. I've told you a few stories before. But one of the ones my fondest Derby memories when I was a young buck back in the day, I think I want to say it's the year Thunder Gulch won. It poured down rain all day, but then it cleared up for the race, and the track was actually fast. But the entire day, it poured down raining. And when you're in the infield and you're 21 years old and you're partying, it's all about mudslides. So we were just diving in the mud and playing in the mud and sliding down the hills to the betting windows in the mud, and people were getting butt naked and going crazy. But that was just a fun all day long thing. And I can remember leaving after the race and just being a muddy mess, looking like somebody straight out of Woodstock. And we were walking across the street and we see Dallas Cowboys head coach Jimmy, well, maybe former head coach. I think he was still the head coach. I wanted to say I thought it was the year Thunder Gulch won, but he would have left by then. But it was Jimmy freaking Johnson. I'm a huge Cowboys fan. So I'm yelling and screaming at Jimmy Johnson, going, hey, and running toward him, thinking I'm going to get an autograph or something. And he just ducks in his limo faster than an assassin trying to, murder a diplomat or something. It was really, really funny story, but that was a really, really fun day. But anyway, so we're going to get into the horses 11 through 15 in points earned. So I'm going to have the final first look preview show for horses 16 through 20 coming tomorrow. These seem to be pretty decently popular, and it's just kind of a first look. I'm not, and I love the comments, the people that are just really into their horses and they come back with their own takes. That's just so great. I love the interaction. So keep the comments coming. So I appreciate everyone doing that. And also please remember to hit that subscribe button and the like, so it'll come up on your searches and everything. And we're really, really on a good roll here. So I want to keep it going. And shout out to all my PGA golf fans. I'm going to try to have a golf video out later on today as well. So without further ado, let's get started. Yeah. All right. So the first horse on the list for today is going to be Verifying. He ran second to Tappet Trice in the Bluegrass Stakes earlier, and he is out of Justify, a Triple Crown winner, trained by Brad Cox, and I believe will be ridden by one Tyler Gaffalione, I want to say. So going back to the Rebel in February, was Verifying was forwardly placed, but he got pinned behind horses, and I believe Florent Giroux may have been riding the horse then. I didn't know if that was a jockey mistake or not, but before I show you the Bluegrass, he just got pinned in behind horses coming home from the stretch and had basically nowhere to go. It was on a sloppy track, so it was almost like one of them races that you want to toss. So he comes back in here to the Bluegrass, where he's a big 2-1 favorite. And we'll pick it up right here, running second place. And he's in perfect position, just kind of riding alongside of the 86-1 Clear the Air, just kind of stalking a little bit, and but making sure you don't get too loose. Verifying is a presser and a front runner. So the fact that Tappet Trice got up this fast I thought was the better race, obviously. But Verifying takes the lead coming around the turn here. And looking really good, a pretty strong performance, honestly. He does end up getting hooked up with Tappet Trice, and it kind of comes down to a 2-horse race here. And they're both really, really just grinding hard. And it's just like when 2 horses hook up like this, one of them just seems to want to give away to the other one, just as an and it could go either way sometimes, but it does kind of seem like the outside horse always seems to be able to get past them in the end. But that was a really good race, thrilling finish. So this is the article, and I always just come back to this as a pause point. But these are the final speed figures, the buyer numbers. So verifying got only a 93 for that effort, which I thought was weird because Tapit Trice got a 99 and he just pulled by him in the end. I thought that was a little bit of better effort than a 93 from verifying, but that's my opinion. I do like him in this race, but I don't know about the distance. He kind of reminds me of last year's early voting, and I believe early voting skipped the Derby and then came back and won the Preakness because I had early voting in the Preakness. So that kind of makes me think that he might be more suited for the Preakness. And actually, technically, fun fact, verifying it will not even be 3 years old for the Derby. He was actually foaled on May 11th, 2020. So, but they always go from January 1. So if they were born in 2020, then it's January 1st, and they're all 3-year-olds technically. But if you know about the age of horses from 2 to 3, they're like juveniles, and they really age a lot, and they progress within weeks. So it's like a horse foaled in February might be more mature than one in May. So maybe he's just still a little green. I don't know. But anyway, verifying a solid horse. I definitely going to use as long as the post position draw comes out okay. And you could use underneath. I don't like him for the win at the current moment, but you could do worse. So the next horse we're going to talk about is Hit Show, and I was making fun of him like the Big Show in WWE was the Hit Slow, and it just and I mentioned it in the other video, and it's just an eyeball test thing for me. Is this race just looks so slow at Aqueduct? We'll pick it up here. The 4-horse. Actually, this is the Wood Memorial. I'm not going to show you that. This is the Withers. I wanted to see another race from Hit Show. He showed what he showed in the Wood with the battle with Lord Miles and got beat by a head. But here we pick him up on the inside here, and we're going. Let me mute that. And he's just kind of inside the pack here and just kind of keeping pace and minding his business and getting ready for just the first opening. And that's usually what jocks are looking for around the turn. They don't want to, as long as they're not, see how it's kind of opening up here. And it's a perfect spot because he can just slide right on in here. And now he's got inside position. And then all he's got to do is just get right around here and get this outside. And this is almost a done deal for me right here. He's going to run him down. And he's really chugging hard here and gets out in front and spins away. And this is 1.25 speed. So, a good looking gray horse, Hit Show, but not one that I'm going to be real riding high on. I think his fractions seem a bit slower than the other top horses. I might need to take a closer look. That's why I wanted to show you the Withers and not the Wood Memorial. So, but you can go back on YouTube and rewatch these videos 100 times and see something different almost every time. But I could see him picking up some late pieces if the pace works out right. But not definitely down on the list. And maybe eighth to 10th in ranking, I guess, as of now. So anyway, we're going to get to another horse here coming out of the Florida Derby, and it is Mage. And that is the correct pronunciation. I don't know why I thought Mad. I think Mage, magic, but a mage is a magician. So that's probably where that comes from. So that's just me. Anyway, he's lightly raced, only 3 starts. Won the first start at Gulfstream in January on the front end. Then he came back in the Fountain of Youth where he faced Forte for the first time. and he had a bit of a troubled trip. So I'm going to go back and look at that Fountain of Youth some other time, and maybe before we get to our final analysis. And so he faced Forte and then had a troubled trip that forced him to stalk the speed and finish fourth. Now, in the Florida Derby, he got off to a slow start, but he rallied wide and he got the jump on Forte in the stretch, which we're going to take a look at right here. And here comes Mage, is the 4-horse here. And you can see this big jump. So he was ready to roll. And then he comes around the corner and he just looks like he's got it made in the shade right here. He clears the inside horses, and now it's just all about home free celebration. And he actually, the jock, I think, takes his eye off of him because he picks up the whip, and then it's too late now. So I didn't really notice that the first time, but you really shouldn't be picking up the whip right there. You ought to be getting on your stick if you want to win the race, you know. So that's just my opinion. But anyway, Mage is a good horse. So I don't know about a win contender, but was that a peak effort? That's what I'd be curious about. Is that big move for home? But the horse out of good magic, Gustavo Delgado is the trainer, and Luis Saez the jock. Luis Saez does have a few choices on who he's going to ride, so I don't know if he'll stick to Mage or move over to another one. So we will see. But Mage is in there. He's a contender. I'd put him in the top 6 or so. So the next horse we're going to look at is Confidence Game, who is a bit different, as he only ran in the Rebel, which was February 25th. And that is, let's see, right here. Okay. So we're going to pick it up here. And Confidence Game is the 7-horse running 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5th. And so it is weird that he only ran the well, he broke his maiden. I'll just give you the backstory. James Graham, jockey, Keith DeSormo, trainer, out of Candy Ride. He got a 94 in the Rebel Buyer speed figure. But he broke his maiden at Churchill, so that's always a nice thing to see a horse get a win at Churchill. So broke his maiden there, then was third in the Lecomte Grade 3, and then this Rebel in the slop. And remember what I told you about derbies. There are a lot of derbies that have off tracks. So the fact that he won on a sloppy track at 18-1 is a plus. But he's right here in the green. It's hard to see because he's blocked out, but in the green cap and the gold star on the back, he just making his move around the far turn here and just making up ground on everybody. You can see, I mean, this is a really good effort. Then he works his way around and is in the perfect spot here. That's where you want to be. Gets a little bit of a bump from the 5, but then clears them, and he's on it on his sticks, and holds off a couple of late runners. But it was a really, really good effort, I thought. Confidence Game. But the only problem I have with Confidence Game is the fact that he skipped a final prep and only ran 60 plus days off before the Kentucky Derby for a 10 furlong race is a bit of a tall order. So I'm not sure if my confidence is in Confidence Game as of right now. So maybe there'll be some looks. Maybe he'll be that wise guy horse. You never know. But the final horse we're going to talk about, I'm not really super big on, but we're going to get into him, was your 4th place Bluegrass out of Into Mischief, trained by Kenny McPeak and ridden by Florent Giroux, Sun Thunder. Sun Thunder made 4 starts on the Derby Trail after getting his maiden win at Oaklawn on New Year's Eve. He still only has the 1 victory, but he did pick up enough points to get in the Derby. So he's another off the pace closer type. So we're going to take a quick look at Sun Thunder, who I believe is the number 7 horse here, who is second to last in your picture. So we are going around the quarter-mile mark. Now we're hitting the halfway point, and he is definitely off the pace closer type, and just kind of hanging around. And spoiler alert, he's probably going to be a toss for me. I just another closer, and not the strongest closer. This year is just, I know I keep saying it, but so many closers. And he's on the inside rail, and he looks like he's got a little running room here. So there's no excuses. If he wants to make a move, he can get in between horses right here, and then it kind of, the window kind of closes up on him, but he still makes it clean, pressing move through, but just cannot catch up to the leaders and holds tight for fourth. So, better ride than horse, maybe. I don't know. But that is your number 14 ranked Sun Thunder, and a sub 90 buyer. Tells me a lot of what I need to know, is that he's just not quite there. Will probably be one of your long, 75 to 85 to 1 shots or something like that, maybe even more. But he's kind of a toss for me right now. So I'm not really going to dog him too bad. He made it to the Derby, and that's what a lot of these owners and trainers want to see. They get those points, and they want to take their shot. So he's one of 20, and anything can happen. So appreciate you watching. Stay tuned for the next video coming out tomorrow, and hit that like button, and remember to tell a friend so I can get some subscribers. Appreciate you. See you soon.